Hello and welcome. My name is Diane Nelson, Director of Instruction for West Vancouver Schools, and we are here today to provide you with information about one of our exciting sports academies. In this case, it's the West Vancouver Schools Premier Tennis Academy. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge and thank the Squamish Nation upon whose traditional territory West Vancouver Schools reside. We would like to express our gratitude to this nation as we value the opportunity to learn and share educational experiences on this traditional territory.
Welcome. My name is Richard Schick, and I'm the supervising teacher for and assistant coach for the Tennis Academy, for the West Vancouver Premier Tennis Academy. Again, just my education, I graduated from the University of Alberta with an education degree in English and physical education. I'm a certified coach in a number of sports, and you're going to see here one of them currently pursuing tennis. So my expertise falls under more volleyball. I have I'll touch on a little bit later on in my bio. But again, just a wide array of coaching experience from volleyball to basketball to hockey, and over just 30 years of coaching within the community. My background is through volleyball, so I'm the former developmental coach and assistant head coach for the senior women's national team on the volleyball side of things. And I've been teaching in the West Vancouver School Division for the past 2 years. This is my second year with the Tennis Academy. I'm a tennis junkie. I've been playing tennis my whole life. And this has been just a really rewarding opportunity for me to work with the head coaches and the professionals at the club, for me to learn from them and from them to learn from me on my experiences. So to be able to have the coaches that we have and the people working with the athletes has been absolutely amazing for not only the athletes, I feel, but for the coaches as well. Okay. Our head pro, Paul Tornquist, head coach of the West Vancouver Tennis Club, tennis professional for a number of years. You're going to see over 25 years, a vast experience of not only in our country working with athletes, but across the world. His coaching experience: North Shore Winter Club, Tennis Academy in Delray Beach, Florida, Vancouver Lawn and Tennis, Peter Burwash International Tennis Management Company, tennis directory at a number of private clubs and resorts. Again, the stories and the experiences that Paul has shared with me in regards to the different types of athletes on both genders on the scale from high to low has just been amazing. And his background, he's just so eager and so passionate to relay those experiences onto the people that he deals with coaching-wise and our students. He's also competed at International Tennis Federation satellite tournaments across Europe. What's another interesting perk is that he's a certified yoga instructor, and he's a really interesting individual in regards to working how the mind relates to the body and vice versa, and like how it takes the complete person to not only play tennis and other sports, but just kind of live your life. So I think that I believe the students have really benefited from Paul's approach to the game, and just his so welcoming demeanor has been such a positive for the kids and for me and for the other coaches. One of the other assistant coaches is Greg Eschmula, undergraduate degree in the Faculty of Kinesiology and Health Sciences at the University of British Columbia. He's currently a Master of Science student at the University of British Columbia in med school, working towards med school. Research focuses on how the nervous system controls the human movement. So again, just a different, not only is he an amazing tennis player, but he's been coaching under Paul for I'm not sure how many years, but I'm pretty sure for at least the last 5. And again, his science background in regards to how the body moves, how the body reacts and whatnot, just transfers so well into the game of tennis. Certified tennis coach, and again, he's a registered kinesiologist with the British Columbia Association of Kinesiologists. So whenever there's an athlete that has like a bit of a tweak or something sore or Greg notices something, how they're moving that could maybe relate to something down the road in regards to future injury, he's always there to kind of help point students in the right direction to kind of take care of that. And again, passionate about tennis and fitness and has experience working with athletes of all levels. Again, very developmental, but at the same time just gauges the skill level of the students and works well with Paul and myself. It's been a great threesome. So the general concept of the academy is that you must be registered at one of our 3 West Vancouver high schools, West Vancouver Secondary, Rockridge Secondary, or Sentinel. So it's inclusive to those schools, grades 8 to 12, and it's open to both male and female students. So what are the Premier Sport Academies? Well, they are a choice, so they are fee-paying programs. Disciplines are areas of interest, strength, and passion for students. So we're really accommodating to those athletes that really have that focus and that drive to excel is a tough word, but to like get better and to improve and that just have a natural passion for a sport and for the sport of tennis. West Vancouver teachers, myself, working together in partnership with coaches in the community, and in this case, professional coaches. And we are fortunate enough to be able to partner with the West Vancouver Tennis Center. Amazing facility, 5 courts at our disposal. So I'll get into it in future slides, especially when we get into our numbers and stuff like that. It is very limited in numbers. We could expand it, but then we'd have too many athletes kind of waiting around doing nothing. So right now the athletes are always moving, always doing something, always playing, always touching the ball, which is something that you don't get everywhere. It is credit granting, so students receive course credits towards their graduation. And the training environments are positive, challenging, and fun for all students. We understand that students are at different levels, and we are one training group, but at the same time, we do accommodate to the skill level and the ability that they're at, and we challenge them accordingly. So our goals, okay, obviously in tennis we want to develop the skills and the abilities so that they improve on their tennis game. And as with a number of our sports academies, it's not easy. It's a very difficult and unnatural thing that you have an apparatus in your hand and you're using that to actually hit another apparatus or another ball that is moving and coming towards you. So there's a lot of factors that come into play. But again, just understanding and how to grow within the game of in the sport of tennis. Provide opportunity for students to reach full potential as both tennis players and students. So we are concerned about them improving and getting better, but we are also concerned about the complete person. As I mentioned with Paul in the yoga, you don't get that with every academy. But in this academy, to have a registered yoga teacher, again, just to be able to expand, and I've had students come up to me and say that's really helped them with, this is an early morning program, how it's helped them progress through the day, okay? We use feedback and encouragement to help students increase their self-esteem and self-confidence. That's a major part of our academies in regards to helping them with their growth and with their confidence. And we see that not only daily, but especially through the year, but more importantly when they come back the next year, how much they've grown and how much they're kind of just holding themselves and standing even straighter. And just that confidence and that self-esteem is so very, very important at these formidable ages. Again, provide a positive environment so that the students not only enjoy participating, but they're also creating and forming lifelong friendships. Educate and meet individual needs to motivate students to stay involved in the sport and to be active for life. So tennis, these last 2 components is so very important. Even though it's not a team sport, we look at this as a team, and we are looking at this as working together. And we're learning from each other, we're helping each other out, and that happens naturally through different skill levels, but also just in regards to us coming together. And they are classmates; they do see each other through the day in their other classrooms. So it's just kind of building that relationship. And again, just to meet their individual needs, we see what they're possible and what they're capable of doing, and we pick their brains about where they see themselves. And we want those two ideas and those two views to mesh somewhere along the way, because when that does mesh is when we do understand each other a lot better, and they are able to excel and to exceed and to improve in the sport. So those are our main goals. Benefits of the sport. So again, the sport is equally accessible to all students. One thing that I just wanted to kind of touch on is this is probably one of the most important points, is we want them to be active for life. Okay, and tennis is one of those sports that can be, it's played regardless of gender, co-ed, and we really want them to be able to take what they learn in grade 8, in grade 9, grade 10, 11, and 12, and be able to take that as they grow and they go on through their life. And we hope that they're playing into their 20s, into their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. We really encourage that, because that active lifestyle really helps with their health along the way. So again, our major concerns are accessible to all students. So again, all 3 schools, both male and female. Safe, low impact sport for students, so we're not really driving things down, it's a low impact. Builds the fundamental sports skills, which is important as the district is focusing on physical literacy. So just again, learning how to move, staying active, improves hand-eye coordination. This is a major thing that we really see a lot of growth as they move through the year in regards to tracking of the ball, how they're moving their body to get around the ball. And again, I just think that it helps them, it helps them when they're driving and stuff like that in regards to that, as they get their driver's license and whatnot. So it just helps them along as they grow. The sport is a great mind, body, and soul sport. Improves mental alertness, concentration, sharpens reflexes, and refines tactics. So again, things that I kind of mentioned in regards to how the sport will help you as you grow older and as you do other things in your life. So the schedule and sessions, again, it runs through the school year from September to June, all year within our current quarter system, so it's linear. It doesn't change, the schedule doesn't change throughout the year. Early mornings, this is one thing that may be a little bit of a surprise to you when we do go into a sample schedule. It's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday with Wednesdays off, and the time is 6:30 a.m. to 7:45. So you may look at that and you go, wow, okay, 6:30 to 7:45. So did I. I said that at the beginning when I first started with it as well. How many students are we going to get? What's the attendance going to be like? Well, I was proven wrong right off the bat. So it's double fold, because one thing that's telling us is that we're picking the right students. We have the right people in our academies. We have anywhere from 90, 93 to 96 to 100% attendance rate. So kudos to the students getting up at that time, but you actually do see that the students have a genuine passion and want to be there. Okay, so again, a sample day on these days, that's what their mornings would look like. And then with school starting from a variety of schools, I think, I believe at 8:30. So gives them time to, some go home and shower, some people go directly to school, all depends on what their preference is. So the components of the program, again, main things, technical, mental, and the physical. And I'm just going to touch and talk about each one of them in regards to what they mean, because this again working together. Every one of those components works together to make the complete tennis player. So the tactical side, things that we talk about, shot selections are based on the phase of play that the players are in. So the skill level as to where they're at. And then the focus is to make the appropriate shot with the proper technique. So in regards to just making those choices, okay, as a coach is watching them, okay, is that the right choice? And kind of sharing those things. There's never really a wrong choice if you're successful, but at the right time, sometimes we'll set yourself up for your opponent's next shot. It just makes things easier for you. So in the 5 phases of play are the rally, playing defense, forcing your opposition a little bit, so being a little bit more attacking, and then counter-attacking. So that's the tactical aspect. And again, things are slowed down. We're brought in, slowed down, explained, and then we go and we attack the skill that we're working on. Next part is the technical part of it. So again, the grip of the forehands, the grip for two-handed backhands, for one-handed backhands. These are all things that we want to help accommodate the athlete. Okay, some of them come in, they have a two-handed thing, a two-handed backhand. Do we let them go with that? Do we try and change them to a one-handed? We all kind of test what they're capable of doing, all with their taking their comfort into consideration. So the grips for the different types of volley, for serving, the impact points, the ground stroke, volley and serves, hitting zones. So it's all it's very specific. And one great thing about Paul is that he's not, as much as I've mentioned the technical side of things, and from my other sports background, I'm extremely technical. And I really believe that really can help compensate for skill level and stuff like that. And Paul has even a different approach. Like he has an approach where he's always picking my brain in regards to, okay, well, how can we challenge them without it? You know, they're having success, maybe not doing it 100% perfectly technical. So at this stage in tennis, maybe it's not that important. So to be able to kind of pick somebody's brain, and some people we want to change, and some people we want to leave alone because they're enjoying that success, and we touch on that at a different stage. Let's see if we have enough battery here. Okay, we talk about the different stances. So these are all things that may be new to you. If you do have a tennis background, they will all make sense to you. But I can promise you, when your children come to the academy, they're going to understand what all these things are. So there are quite a few technical components of the game. Okay, the next component is the physical aspect. Strength, flexibility, speed, endurance. So these are all things that go without saying in regards to things that we want to build on, that we want to improve on, and it helps with their growth, especially this developmental part of their life cycle, as you may say. It's growing with your body and learning how your body moves. The physical aspect of it is extremely important. So lots of core exercises and just learning about our bodies. And again, Paul incorporates this physical aspect in as well as what's coming up next, the mental aspect of it. So again, just that focus, extremely key, staying supportive, determination, the effort, the sportsmanship. These are all such important parts of our academy and across all academies, but just in regards to the sportsmanship, controlling the negative and positive emotions, respect for peers, respect for coaches, and respect for self. And obviously one that's missing in here is the respect for the facility as well. And that's something that we really stress, and we never have problems in regards to that, but just in regards to a key part of this is the respect part of things. So, and here you're going to see one of our current students just in regards to the mental aspect and how much concentration comes in with serving. And we really want it to become a natural thing for them, that they're not thinking about things as much, that they do get to a stage where they are just flowing and they're not having to think that they're just playing. Okay, just an idea, an example of how things work, an example of a daily session. We'd warm up, tennis warm up. We usually start with just some short court stuff so that we are getting that touch and that feel on the ball before moving back and going full court. Drills focusing on the theme of the day, which our coaches do an excellent job of just kind of rotating the themes and kind of just varying and kind of debriefing after each session in regards to what things that they think that the group needs moving forward. Feedback, technical corrections by the coaching staff, so that's on a constant basis. And then weekly match play sessions that focuses on skills learned that week. We've had a couple mini tournaments that we want to bring in. One thing that Paul and Greg, Paul does a really good job of is just incorporating how much playing that we're doing. Okay, it's not just skill based. It's not repping them to death with that, because the students and the athletes do lose focus on that. He's got an extremely positive balance on a lot of play and learning how to play the game, learning the technical and the tactical side of things, but implementing it. So, because you can get good at just hitting forehands, but how do you hit a forehand in a game? So we do a really good job of that. And then just continued feedback on decision making by players during open play. So it's not like we're stopping every single play, but we may remember one or two things and we'll ask the student about it afterwards just to pick their brain, to see where they're at. The location is the West Vancouver Tennis Club in West Vancouver, just north of and right beside the West Vancouver Rec Center. Walking distance probably to West Vancouver Secondary, but again, it is open to the Rockridge students and Sentinel students. Just have to figure out transportation, as I'm sure that comes up next. So transportation, again, students from all three schools are welcome. Parents are responsible for ensuring that the students arrive at 6:30 a.m. to start on time. Again, we put it, the parents are responsible. I always mention that the students are responsible, okay? They should be the ones that are getting you up if you're the ones that are driving them, or they're the ones that are getting up and making sure that they're there on time. What you may be responsible for is ensuring for students arrive back to their home or schools, whichever that may be, at the conclusion of each session at 7:45.
So with respect to the course credits for the West Vancouver Schools Premier Tennis Academy, the great news is that for getting up early 4 mornings a week, they are going to receive courses that are used towards their graduation. And in the cases in the case of the grades 8, 9, and 10 students, physical and health education at those grade levels is mandatory. So with respect to those grade levels, they will receive that course. Now, in the current quarter system, the students receive or are participating in a course in the morning, and then they're going to be participating in a course in the afternoon during the week, outside of those early morning classes that they're doing tennis in. So they would have physical and health education scheduled during one of those quarter periods. So in other words, they would be participating in regular physical and health education for a 10-week period sometime during the year. With this unusual schedule, with tennis in the morning and then the idea that they might have the same course in the afternoon regularly through a 10-week period, we are encouraging students at grade 8 to take part in that 10-week physical and health education class, because it is allowing them to participate in so many other activities. And at the grade 8 level, we really want the kids to make connections with their peers and just to be a part of things, so not to miss out on those in-school opportunities. At the grade 9 level, it's the same. We do encourage them to take part in that additional physical and health education course for the variety of activities and for the friendships they make. But if they choose that they prefer to do an elective, we accommodate the students. And then finally, at the grade 10 level, this is where students really enjoy the fact that they have the opportunity to take an elective or another course, because they'll already have that physical and health education 10 course. At the grade 11 and grade 12 levels, the Ministry of Education has come up with a ministry authorized course called Fitness and Conditioning 11 and Fitness and Conditioning 12. So if students are at these two grade levels and participating all year long in the tennis academy, they receive this ministry authorized course according to their grade level.
So moving on to assessment and evaluation. Ongoing assessments through each session. I'm sure you've heard me mention that there's constant feedback and constant picking of the brain and just kind of seeing where the athlete, where the student athlete's at. Report cards issued 3 times per year. Parent-teacher interviews. That's one thing that I've really missed is that parent-teacher interaction because of our current situation. So I do see that changing in the future. Fingers crossed, I'm sure it's going to happen. But I just want to stress that we have an open door policy. If you have any issues, even though you can't come through the door necessarily to talk to us, but email, phone call, always open to discuss any concerns or any feedback that you may have for us. Students observed on a daily basis by the coaching staff. Biggest thing that we're looking for, again, that not necessarily that they're getting graded on, but things that we do look on when we're grading are arrival time, just their work ethic, their attitude, listening skills, students encouraged, motivated, and provided with ongoing feedback. So just understanding that effort and attitude are huge. How you work within the group is massive, and goes along with the skill level and how they're proceeding and how they're going with the instruction. Our clothing kit. Again, this is a picture from the past. No social distancing here, but this is a previous picture of our training kit. Again, this is this year's. We went with black and with black, white, and red this year. So again, it's not mandatory for them to wear whites. This year, they just so happened that they were wearing whites. Again, you can get the shorts and training shirts as well, so tops and bottoms. So the mandatory kit is shown here with the 2 t-shirts, 2 shorts. You should bring your own water bottle. Then also required, obviously, is a tennis racket and appropriate footwear. I want to really stress footwear. Footwear has a lot to do with not only performance, but just the health and safety in regards to, we really encourage them to wear tennis shoes, court shoes, so that it provides the proper support and strength needed for the constant, pushing off and stopping and whatnot. We've had some athletes show up with running shoes and joggers, and it just doesn't offer the same support, and you're more susceptible to injury that way. So we really want to stress that. And again, as your child grows, you're able to purchase larger, smaller gear as they move on.
So the fees for the West Vancouver Schools Premier Tennis Academy are as follows. This program or academy runs all year long, so September to June. So as was mentioned, the students are trained and coached by professionals at the West Vancouver Tennis Club. So our fees for the year are $525 per month. And because this program runs linearly, we have divided those payments up into 10 months. So $525 multiplied by 10 months. And what will happen is that if you are a part of the program, we will communicate with parents around the process for these payments.
So the selection process, I'm sure you're interested and concerned about this. We're looking for athletes and students that have a genuine interest or passion, and they have reasoning to want to be in the tennis academy. Participate in an assessment. These assessments will be, we want to have them as soon as possible. So if you are interested, please get your registrations in as soon as you can. We'd like to have them throughout the month of February, and we want to get them done as soon as possible. Just be aware that we do have a high return rate and we do have limited spots. So you want to get that in early, you want to get your assessment in as, we want to get you in for an assessment as soon as we can. Commitment to participate for the full year. You have to complete the online student information form from the Academy. You have to submit your most recent report card showing evidence of satisfactory, excellent work habits, and just some other things that we're looking for here in regards to the ability to work well in the classroom academically, ability to maintain good to excellent grades, demonstrate good character, being responsible and respectful, ability to work well with others, ability to follow the rules of a special program as well as the mandatory health safety protocols. So these last three are the most applicable to the Tennis Academy in regards to working well with others, and the respect factor and whatnot. So nothing to really be stressed about. We do look at not only where the applicant is at now, but where they see themselves going and where we see themselves going. So it's the whole complete package that we're looking at. So I think hopefully we've covered a lot of your questions. If you do have any other questions, please let myself or let Diane Nelson know. Thank you very, very much for this, and hope to see your child next month for an assessment, and I look forward to meeting you in the future. Thanks very much.